Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the desert, and welcome back to yet another mic cracking video, guys. As for today, before we get started, we have this mini game that we're gonna play on screen. And we're gonna get started with a bit of trivia. Did you know, guys, that these tests don't actually test out whether you can manage to finish the puzzle or not? They just test your speed. So if I were a hacker, a malware, the system, the bot, the hack will solve this problem in 0.0 seconds, proving that it's a bot. So it doesn't matter how much time I take. Even if I manage to finish it as fast as I can, it's still going to be slower than a robot. So it's going to prove that I'm not a robot indeed. But another thing is, well, it actually does matter if you solve them correctly, because if I were to solve the puzzle in this way, it's probably not going to allow me to. Because here's the thing, these tests, guys, not only do test whether you're a bot or not, but they also test if you are retarded, which I'm not. So with that out of the way, guys, but maybe your opinion on that will change before we finish the video. So that being said, let's move on to one of the most degenerate type of videos on the internet, which are the put a finger down if. So let's get started with this one, guys.
Put a finger down if you're thinking ahead and in 2020 you decided to freeze your eggs because you really wanted to become a mother. So you freeze your eggs, then the pandemic hits, which is a crazy time. Then you meet who you think is the love of your life, and then that becomes kind of a really not tumultuous but not a consistent relationship. So you don't end up having a baby with him. So fast forward to May of 2024, your fertility doctor says, I think it's just time to probably just go ahead and have a baby. So you choose a donor and you become a single mom by choice. By the way, I absolutely hate that phrase. We can do better, ladies. Let's work on it. So you become a single mom by choice. You create some embryos and your first transfer works, which is so exciting. But there's also like this huge sadness that you have that you're doing it on your own, even though you're so excited about having a baby, because it doesn't exactly look the way you always intended. So you're so excited that you're pregnant and you're working away at your fabulous magazine job that you absolutely love and you're absolutely have been crushing it up for the past 5 years. Then you get pregnant, and then right before Thanksgiving, they lay you off knowing that you're pregnant, which was so fun. So you're freaking out because
Whoopsie daisy, am I right, fellas? But how do you like your eggs? I like mine frozen, guys. No, she's feeling sad, guys, because, you know, I'm a single mom by choice, but I'm a single mom by choice, and she wishes she will have had this baby with another partner, a man. If only, guys, if only there was a way to have babies with two people involved. You know, it's just, geez, why hasn't nature figured out a way to raise babies in a healthy environment with, say, two parents that have different roles assigned, you know? If only, guys. You can dream.
You're not... It's a huge financial blow. Let's be serious, like in this economy. You do what you think is best. You move back home to Salt Lake City, Utah, which is cool. I love Salt Lake. I'm so happy to be here, but living with your parents' basements at a certain age doesn't really necessarily feel like the best option, but you need help. You're about to become a single mom. Nobody wants to hire a pregnant lady. You need to save money. So you move back home to Salt Lake, meet an amazing OBGYN I cannot believe that I was fortunate enough to have. So you have the most beautiful baby boy, and
that's not true. I am the most beautiful baby boy, but alright.
He is absolutely the most amazing thing that's ever happened to you. And then 3 weeks later, you have to have a D&C because you have a blood clot in your uterus from after your cesarean section, because
holy crap, guys, the whole alphabet over here, so many letters. I don't even begin to understand what they stand for, but if you do, drop a comment.
If you haven't noticed, this baby has a giant head, which love him forever for it. So
I also have a giant head, if you know what I mean. Editor, cut it out.
You have a D&C, then get an infection, have 104 fever. So you stay in the hospital for 4 days, but everything's fine now. You're sailing right along. You go to your 6-month post-op for your C-section. You mentioned to your doctor that your boob feels kind of weird. So she says, I think you should probably...
Oh, let me check that. Nah, I'm kidding. Guys, I'm so degenerate today. What is happening? But she was having 104 fever. If you had 104 fever in Europe with Celsius, you will basically be the Human Torch. So I don't know in Fahrenheit if that is a lot or not. Is that a lot, guys? I know. Yeah, I'm starting to think it's kind of pointless to cover a video where I don't understand half the letters and half the numbers. But we'll make something out of this, guys. Trust in me.
Go to get a mammogram. So I said, okay, I'll go get a mammogram. Then you go get a mammogram, and then they take you in for an ultrasound, and they said, I think it's about like 15 things before I would ever think it's malignant, but you should get a biopsy. Then you go get a biopsy, and then they're supposed to call you by Thursday or Friday. You don't get a call on Thursday or Friday. So on Monday, you go look at my chart. You see that you have malignant melanoma in your boob. Then you get a call from the radiologist. They're like, you have malignant melanoma in your boob. And you're like, what the hell? Melanoma's not in your boob. So then you get referred to an oncologist. You go to the oncologist, and then you're informed that you have stage 4 melanoma in your breast and you need a PET scan. So then you go get a PET scan, and you also find out that you have it next to your lung and your pancreas. And so you're 3 months postpartum. So that's been... Did I mention I was looking for a job again because, you know, I'm a single mom who needs to pay bills and now is unemployed and has a 3-month-old with stage 4 metastatic melanoma.
Well, sucks to suck, eh? Well, I can think of 2 ways to solve this problem. First off, if that damn patriarchy, you know, will start working, thinking about women, then we could maybe finance this woman. What is a single mom by choice doing unemployed, guys? That damn patriarchy not financially supporting this woman, guys. How dare he? But outside of that, the other solution I have outside of the patriarchy is, how about you just have a kid the normal way in which women have been having babies for millennia? How about that one? How about you don't wait 37 years to begin thinking about children because you're not a magical woman that breaks the norm? How about you have kids when you're young and fertile and attractive, and you have like 20 men at your disposal willing to impregnate you? How about that one? But no, guys, we are modern and independent. We don't need no man. And this is how we end up. By the way, this is another child that is going to be raised without a father. Thank you, madam, for just making it worse for all of us, starting with your own kid. Just thank you so much, you know. But guys, would you still love me if today we didn't do articles as well? Because I have another fire, guys, that we have to, you know, sit around. But, you know, too many things to talk about, guys. I'm talking too much. So I promise on next video, we'll do articles, all right? I promise. Pinky promise, guys. But I wanted to talk about something today as well, all right? Let me switch on the gameplay that you have forgotten magically from last episode. Because I wanted to talk about a magical fridge, guys. And no, I haven't been eating mushrooms of unknown origin. I want to talk about a magic fridge, guys, that brings into existence whatever food you want to eat, all right? So you think of something you want to eat or drink, and you open the fridge and it's there, all right? So let me know down in the comments, what is the first thing you're going to order out of this fridge? But here's the thing, it's your first day with this fridge, they just deliver it and you're like, holy crap, what should I get? You're excited, you know, whoa, I can order anything. And let's say you order, I don't know, your favorite food, or maybe some delicacy you've never tried. I know, you go for an octopus, you know, Asian style. You go for a red lobster. You go for French champagne from like Napoleon's times, all right? And then you just enjoy probably the best dinner you've had since you were born, all right? So fast forward to next day. Now you're trying different things. Now you're so excited, yada, yada. Well, fast forward to 2 months. you know, forward, it's starting to dry up. Like, you've already tried everything you wanted. The things that were exciting at first, if you order them again, they're no longer impressive. Now, fast forward to 6 months. What will happen in 6 months, guys, of having this fridge? You will be tired to your ass of it, all right? You will be like, yeah. You can order everything. You can have everything. You're no longer so excited about it. You've already tried everything. You've already tried multiple times, like favorite dish and all that. And it's just not that exciting, you know? So maybe you've seen where I'm taking this out, guys. I'm taking this out at that's women. And their fridge is society. Women have everything they may want at the reach of their fingertips, which is why they no longer care about anyone anymore, and nothing is valuable to them, right? Because they have this fridge. If they want a relationship, but here you have 20 men interested in you, just, you know, pick one of them. If women want sex, oh, they can just spread their legs, and a pile of 78 men will line up to get them impregnated, because that's how easy women have it. If women want to go out on a coffee date, oh, they just need to smile, half a smile to some guy at the coffee, but there you go. There you have a coffee date. Or they want to go to a restaurant, oh, just open your DMs with like 78 men texting you day and night, waiting for you to give them a chance. Oh, you want this? Go to Tinder. You have 200 likes in the first week. It's just so easy, right? And this is why they have just so many options, and this is why they get tired of all of it, and it's boring. And not only does it become boring for them, in the same way that the fridge will become boring to you after you've tried everything, but second thing worth pointing out, like a substance, an addictive substance, they need more and more to reach that high. In the same way that you and your fridge, by the 7th time you order that really expensive, delicate French champagne, now you're tired of it. Now you need a champagne that is even more delicate in taste, that is even better, you know, because you're already used to the last one. So the same happens to women, right? They taste Chad once or twice, and now they want more. Now the average man is even more boring than he was previously. Now they want that new high, guys, just a taller guy, a stronger guy, a more muscular guy, because they already had the not so muscular guy, right? That was still more muscular than the average man who doesn't lift every day of his life. So you see where I'm taking this out, right? And this is something we all understand, but the question I wanted to ask, guys, and ladies are going to be surprised here, all right? I'm going to surprise the ladies. And no, I'm not going to show a winner pick. That's only for the Patreons and YouTube members. What I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to ask and try to answer, are we being too harsh with women? Yes, guys, I know. Don't worry. I still hate them, don't worry. The point is, are we being too harsh? Let's think about that, guys, and let's try to answer it. Because, here's the thing. As we have established, if you have that magical fridge, you're gonna get tired of it, right? So, at some point, it's a human trait. Now, yes, women react a bit differently to it than men do, but at the end of the day, we're all humans, and we're all greedy motherfuckers, and greed is probably one of the most, you know, seen traits of humanity, like one of the most exposed ones, or I don't know how to accentuated ones. I don't even know what the shit I'm talking, guys. These words I'm using, but you get the point. So take a look at rock stars, for example. Now, when you take a look at rock stars, yeah, most of them are doing hard substances. Yeah, most of them are fucking every person that they like, because they just simply have the power to do it, right? They just simply have the ability to do it, and so they like, most of them, if not all of them, do, right? So would you, for example, hold rock stars accountable? Would you, given that you know how humanity works, given that if you were a rock star, do you think you'll be strong enough to not go down that path of hedonism and profiting off of your power and options? Do you think you can do that, guys? Or in other words, put yourselves in the shoes of women. All right? Because women, they have many options, they have a lot of power, and they abuse it. If you were a woman and you could have S3X with almost anyone you want, and you had so many options, would you abuse that power? Would you abuse the fridge, guys? Do you think you will be moderate about it, or do you think you will fall head first into the pit of greed? Now, I have to be honest with you guys. I personally don't know if I will be able to not succumb to the greed. And I think that if we have to be honest, at least 8 out of 10 people watching this will fall into the pit of greed, right? I mean, let's be honest about it, guys. Because again, taking a look at rock stars, for example, that do have a lot of power, money, you know, fame. It's like 99 out of 100 rock stars fall into the pit of greed, right? So why should we think that we are any different? If we were a rock star, if we were a woman, or we had the same options, do you not think we will be equally as greedy, right? So in that sense, are we being too harsh on women, given that if I were a woman, I'd probably be doing the same degenerate crap that is materialistic and superficial that they are doing, right? So that's an interesting question. Furthermore, if you take a look at Chads behave in a very similar way to women, right? Chads are attractive. They have fame in the sense that a lot of women want them. They have looks, they have the power. Women chase them, right? And what you will see Chads do is, instead of following the path of morals or trying to look for a soulmate, what Chads will do is, yes, they'll profit out of their looks, they'll profit out of the effect that they have on women. So are we men any different, or are we not? I wanted to bring this debate, guys, and I wanted to give you an answer, right? Because I've been thinking about this. Now, my answer is both yes and no. Yes, we're being too harsh on women. Talking about for myself, I don't know if I were a woman, if I will not succumb to the pressure, to the, you know, just having so many options, right? I don't know if I will. I mean, again, if I picture myself in my position right now, and suddenly 10 hot goth girls just, you know, came into my room covered in milk, barely dressed, I'll probably succumb, guys, not gonna lie, right? So if I were a woman and I had the same options, yeah, I'd probably succumb. So in that sense, yeah, maybe we're being too harsh. At the end of the day, it's just human level. It's just the greedy level. Every person who has ever had power, or at least most of them, have succumbed to this, right? Both men and women. So now it's just women's turn, right? Now it's just the average woman has the privilege and power that in the past only people with extreme power had, or extreme position, right? But at the same time, guys, yes, I do hold women accountable. And I'll tell you why. Because I will give a pass, a free pass, to maybe like the first 5 years of women having a lot of options, alright? When internet became a thing, when they suddenly all started to have options, yes, I will understand them in that situation. Like, alright, you just got hit on with this massive wave of male attention. You weren't prepared, you didn't know what was happening. Alright, I get it. But that's only the first 5 years. Because nowadays, guys, we men have been shouting from the rooftops to women, stop going down that path, it's not doing you any good. Stop, you know, profiting out the best you can out of men. Stop leeching off of men. Stop acting in this parasitic way where you only look at the superficial things. We've been talking about family. We've been talking about how you need to be humble. We've been trying to warn women that if you order everything you want out of the fridge, you're gonna get tired to your ass of it, all right? Because at the end of the day, guys, even though women have so many options and so much power, they still struggle. They still end up 30 alone and miserable because of their bad choices. They still end up unhappy because all that power leads them to nothing but unreal expectations, loss of pair bonding ability, and just not being content with anything. And wouldn't you know it, love is not about switching 78 partners throughout your life. So there's that, right? Again, the first generation, alright, I understand it. You suddenly became a rock star, you suddenly, you know, got this fridge popped into your life, you couldn't hold yourself, like, yeah, let me order something. But after so many years, guys, again, men have been shouting this from the rooftops and nobody cares to listen because, again, most women, guys, they don't want to be humble. They just don't want to listen to our advice, you know? Now, the best thing, if you're a rock star, will be to lead a normal life and to not fall into substance use and effing everything that moves. If you had that magical fridge, the best thing will be to not abuse that fridge, but rather cook from time to time, rather prepare food on your own from time to time, rather order from the fridge sometimes something moderate, because life is about balance, guys, and it's so good to be humble. You know, I remember, guys, when I was younger and my family didn't have so much money. I mean, not that now they're multimillionaires, you know, but we were closer to poverty than now. I remember that time, guys. I was little, and I would like manage to sneak $2 into my pocket, and I will go for like a chocolate, and I will be like, holy shit, you know, the one chocolate I was able to afford in like a week or two. It was so fucking delicious. Now I'm grown up, I have money, I can go to the store right now and order 47 chocolates, and none of them taste even half as good as that one magical chocolate did. I was able to afford by, you know, being patient. So that's the thing. There's just, life, guys, is never and has never been about having much and about abuse and about having everything at the reach of your fingertips. It's never been about that, not in a single aspect of life. Life is best when you're humble. Life is best when you value things, when you appreciate things, and that is something lost on the average woman. All right, you cannot impress them anymore. I'll finish with this thought, guys. I wanted to mention something else. Recently, a friend who we used to go to school together, you know, accepted my invitation on Facebook, which I had sent years prior. I don't know, she just doesn't check Facebook that long anymore, but she accepted it after like 1 or 2 years. And I saw it, and when I saw it, I found out that it's her birthday. So she probably logged in because it's her birthday. And it was her birthday, you know, so I said, hey, happy birthday. But then I looked at the chat, guys, because we hadn't chatted since 2013, all right? We hadn't chatted for 12 years. And so I was nostalgic. I took a look at the chat, and holy crap, guys. In 2013, I was finding chats of us talking. And this woman, guys, will like hit me up 5 times in a row, 5 different days. She will say, hey, what are you doing? Hello, I will not reply. She will, another day, hello, how are you doing? Why are you not replying? 5 days in a row, this woman texting me. Now, it wasn't anything romantic, all right? We were young at the time. She was just looking for a happy conversation, or maybe she just found me cute, who knows? And I also was not replying, not because I was ghosting or playing some games. I was probably just not checking on the messages, right? But it just struck me, guys, because this woman messaged me 5 times in a row. Now, in today's society, I fucking dare you to get a woman to text you 5 times in a row. It's impossible. It's impossible. If you're not a 10 out of 10, you'll never get a woman to text you 5 times in a row, all right? I'll never get even the most heinous 300-pound land whale in the entire city who looks like a character from The Hills Have Eyes to text me, guys, and let alone 5 times in a row. It's impossible. Those days are long gone, guys. Just a decade ago, you could go to the park, like talk to a woman, she will smile at you. Maybe you'll get a few smiles here and there when you're walking through the mall. Women will be interested. Now, granted, women have always had more options than men, right? But it wasn't like this at all, guys. It was just a whole different world. It was a whole different universe where women, even though they've always had more standards than men, even though women have always have more options than men, it was just different, right? And you could get female attention. You actually could, right? And you could get playful with women. But not anymore. It simply doesn't exist, and it doesn't exist because, same as this woman, this woman was average looking at that time, but then she grew a pair of big boobs, and you know, Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat became more and more famous, and you had Tinder that started, and suddenly she was overwhelmed with 700 men wanting to get between her legs, wanting to be her boyfriend, texting her day and night, sending her flowers. And now she no longer gives a fucking shit. She didn't reply to my happy birthday message, probably because there were 2,000 other men wishing her happy birthday, willing to kiss her ass. So that is why it's just impossible, guys. It's impossible to even like struck a conversation with the average woman. It's impossible for her to like you back. I mean, why would she like you back when there are 78 men liking you back? It's impossible to impress women unless you're fucking Henry Cavill on a Lamborghini because, oh, Hidan, I'm gonna gift her flowers. Dude, there are like 40 other men gifting her flowers. But Hidan, I'm gonna write her a poem. Guys, there's 7 Indian men in her Snapchat writing love letters to her, alright? But I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Dude, it's just nothing matters anymore, guys. Nothing matters. And again, it's because women have this magical fridge. All right, they have this magical fridge where they can order the caviar, guys, with the French champagne. So all your efforts amount to a load of bullshit for women. It doesn't mean that you're a man of worse quality than before. It doesn't mean that you're not worth as a human individual. It doesn't mean that you're bad in any way, shape, or form. It just simply means that women have too many options, just too many options to even know what's real anymore. All right. So I'll conclude the video right here, guys. Please let me know your thoughts. To finally answer the question, I will not hold women accountable, maybe in the first years. Again, I understand how they are being affected. I understand how I myself, if I were in their situation, I could easily fall into the pit of greed. But I do hold them accountable nonetheless. In the same way that I hold accountable rich people. If rich people become assholes that think that they're too good for this earth, yeah, I'm going to hold them accountable. I'm going to think that they're assholes and I'm going to not respect them, right? So same applies to women. Same applies to every single person who cannot withstand greed. And the way you withstand greed is by being humble and by going out of your way to not get it into your head too much. And women can do this. Women can absolutely do this. Women can focus on the good guys. Women can focus on one relationship at a time. Women can choose to focus on personality, yet, as you are well aware of, most of them don't, which we can see by Tinder statistics where women pick the top 5% of men. But guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our little discussion. I hope the mic didn't crack too often. And for tomorrow's video, guys, I promise they will have article stories. Thank you, guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.